Welcome everybody. Let's take a quick review of area and then we're going to have some algebra problems to solve that have to do with area. Area is how much space there is inside of something. You guys probably remember that for quadrilaterals, that's all four-sided shapes. Quad means four. For quadrilaterals, the shortcut is just we do base times height. You've also heard it length times width. We'll call it base times height. It'll make triangles easier here in a little bit. But base times height, if this rectangle is 5 inches across and 3 inches tall, I could draw these inches. So that's 1 inch, that's another inch, 3 inches, 4 inches, and then this line is 5 inches. And if it's 3 inches tall, 1 inch to there, I can draw that line right there. That's 1 inch, 2 inches, 3 inches. If I draw all the inches and then I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, I know that this rectangle has an area of 15 square inches, 15 inches squared, okay? But I don't want to have to draw it every time, so we just remember that it's base times height. So area of a quadrilateral, a four-sided figure, is base times height. For triangles, just again, a quick review. Some of you already know this, good job. For a triangle is always, 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 always how much of a rectangle? It's always half of a rectangle. It's half of a quadrilateral, half of a square, half of any quadrilateral, half of a diamond. A triangle is always half. So to find the area of a triangle, we start like pretending it's a rectangle. We still do base times height, just like the rectangle. That would be 15. But then we go, just kidding, we don't need the whole thing. We only need half, right? So we just need half of that base times height. So base times height, but we just need half of it. So we just divide it by 2 for area of a triangle. Let's look at how we do algebra, because this is what you're going to be doing today. Let's look at how to do some algebra problems with area. So we said area of a quadrilateral is base times height. Here, you don't know your height. So with these problems, there's always going to be one number missing, and you're going to have to do some algebra to solve for that missing number. So here we have a base of 10, a height we don't know, but they'll tell you the area. And now I know some of you smart kids can probably do this in your head, but let's make sure we understand the steps so that when this becomes like 10.3, you know how to solve it, even if you can do this in your head. All right. So how do we find a missing side of a shape when they give us the area and another side? Let's start with the area formula here. We said the area is base times height. So on your paper, when you're doing it alone, you would say, all right, I know that the area is base times height. And then you'd fill in which numbers go here. Do we know the area? Yeah, it looks like they gave us the area. So you would fill that in, 43.4 inches squared. We can just put the numbers right now. Do you know the base? Yes. So we're going to fill that in. We know that it's base times height. Do we know the height? No, that's the number missing. So we'll do that, okay? So start with the formula and then plug in the numbers that they give you. This is the only one that's missing, right? The height. So now we just have to do a little bit of algebra. I want to know what this missing number is. How do I figure out what that missing number is using algebra here? What do I need to do? I need to get rid of this times 10. How do we get rid of the times 10? Good job. We're going to divide by 10. Divide by 10. It's just algebra, but with geometry and shapes. So we're going to do the opposite. Do it to both sides. That's going to cancel. So I have my missing number, which is the height. I have my missing number equals whatever that is. You can use a calculator. And then you figured out what your height was just using algebra, but with the shape as the problem. Let's go look at triangles. Same thing. There's going to be a missing number. They're going to say, hey, there's this triangle. The base is this much. The area is that much. What's this missing height? Like, okay. Does this number matter? It's called the hypotenuse. Nope, it's not part of our formula for finding the area of a triangle. They'll just throw in extra numbers just to try to confuse you. Super rude, right? All right, so how do we find this missing number? Again, just remember, start with the formula. Let's write down the formula. There's the formula. So if you were starting this on your paper, you would write the formula. The area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2 because we just want half. And then you start filling in what they give you. Did they give you the area? Yes. Okay, let's write that in. Oh, just 36. All right. Did they give you the base? Yes. Okay, let's fill that in. Did they give you the height? No, that's what's missing. Okay. And let's fill in the rest of the formula there. All right. So I filled in everything that I could. Now I just have to do some algebra to figure out what my height is. All right. Those are stuck together there. So that's the bodyguard. We're going to save them for last. So it's just algebra now. How do we get rid of divided by 2? Yep. Multiply by 2. You just did rule number 1 to get rid of something, do the opposite. Rule number 2, whatever you do to one side, do to the other. And now we're just going to rewrite what we have. All right. With algebra, it helps to stay neat here. Let's see. 2 times 36 is 72. You can obviously use a calculator. We have an equal sign. This cancels, right? Whenever you do the opposite, it cancels, so you can ignore it. And we have that. Good. You got rid of one of the 2 numbers that you need to get rid of. So we're down to one final step to find this missing number. How do I get rid of times 8? Yeah, divide by 8. Do it to both sides. All right. If you need to, use a calculator. And then, let's see, that's going to cancel. And we found that our missing number equals 9. All right. 9 times 8 is 72. And half of 72 is 36. Yeah, that checks out. All right. So we're going to practice some on your own now. Start with the formula and then fill in the numbers that they give you. Will help you out, and that's what we'll be practicing today. So we just have 2 problems to practice today. Here's just like the one we just did, but now we have some different numbers. So the area of this rectangle is 63 inches squared. The base is 10.5 inches, and we're trying to find, let's make it an H. We're trying to find that height right there, okay? So how are we going to solve this? You're going to write down the formula first, plug in the numbers, and then solve it. Then over here, got some new numbers. We have a base. We need to figure out the height, and they tell us the area. How do we find this out? Write down the formula, plug in the numbers, and do some algebra. Let's do those together. I'll help you out.